Chosen one, do you feel it? There's a whisper moving through the air, carried from lips that once mocked you, now trembling when your name is spoken. They don't talk about your appearance anymore. They don't bring up your past. No, all of that has vanished like dust in the wind. What echoes now, in the corners of their conversations, is far more dangerous. Your mind is lethal. They sense it, even if they cannot explain it. They know that your silence speaks louder than their loudest accusations. They know that your clarity cuts through illusions like a blade of light, exposing every hidden agenda, every twisted intention. You were not built to be ordinary. You were designed to be the storm that arrives without warning, the force that unsettles the pretender, the living reminder that true intelligence cannot be tamed. And today, you will discover the unmistakable signs that your intelligence has crossed into something unstoppable, unshakable, untouchable. You will understand why those who once underestimated you now carry unease in their chest whenever you appear. Because your presence no longer blends in. It dismantles, it reveals, it transforms. Listen carefully, because what you are about to hear is not theory. It is confirmation of what you have always felt, but could never put into words. And if this message already stirs something deep within your spirit, if your soul knows this was meant for you, then pause for a moment. Strike the like button as a declaration that you recognize your power. Subscribe if you haven't already, because your journey is far from over. And comment 99, because in the language of the Spirit, 9 is the number of divine completion, and when doubled, it marks the seal of protection over minds awakened by truth. This is not coincidence. You are here because you were called. And from this moment forward, nothing about the way you see yourself will ever be the same. There is something they will never admit out loud, chosen one, but you have already noticed it. The moment you walk into a room, the atmosphere shifts. People who were laughing too loudly fall strangely quiet. Those who were spinning stories suddenly change the subject. Why? Because your silence is not empty. It is a force that dismantles illusions without effort. You don't need to argue to expose them. You don't need to prove your worth with endless explanations. The simple act of standing still, of holding your ground in silence, is enough to break masks that others have spent years constructing. Silence is not absence. It is presence. It is the thunder before the strike, the calm before the storm. When you remain quiet, people expect vulnerability, but instead they feel pressure. They thought they could dominate the conversation with noise, with volume, with fake confidence. But your stillness swallows their words, and suddenly their carefully rehearsed lines fall apart. A fake smile begins to tremble. A rehearsed narrative begins to unravel. That is the effect of your silence. It amplifies truth and suffocates deception. Every manipulator dreads silence, because silence leaves them alone with themselves. They cannot handle the weight of their own lies echoing back at them. And when your eyes meet theirs without a single word, they feel seen, too seen. They feel as if every hidden thought has been read, every disguise shattered. They look away, not because you shouted, not because you fought, but because they cannot bear the mirror you hold up with your quietness. You see, the world taught them that power is noise, that dominance is volume, that winning is about who speaks louder, faster, sharper. But you carry a different frequency. You discovered that true dominance doesn't need to raise its voice. True power doesn't have to defend itself. And so, while others exhaust themselves trying to fill the silence, you let the silence fill them, and they crumble beneath it. Your silence is not passive. It is precise. It is the scalpel that cuts through performance, the light that makes shadows disappear. In that moment, they realize something terrifying. You don't need to chase validation. You don't need to convince anyone. Your presence itself is already the evidence. And that is why their voices shake when you look at them. That is why they stumble over their words when you stay quiet. They know your silence is not ignorance, it is strategy. Think about how many times you've seen it happen. Someone tried to provoke you, to bait you into reacting, but instead of exploding, you chose silence. And what happened? They grew nervous. They filled the air with excuses, explanations, justifications that nobody asked for. They exposed themselves without you ever having to say a word. That is the lethal beauty of your intelligence. It does not need theatrics. It only needs patience. And here lies the mystery, chosen one. Silence in your hands has become a weapon sharper than any blade, stronger than any speech, because it is in your silence that they reveal who they truly are. And deep down, they know it. They know they cannot hide under the noise anymore because your stillness has already unmasked them. So remember this, never underestimate the power you carry when you choose not to speak. In a world addicted to noise, your silence is revolution. In a culture desperate for attention, your stillness is disruption. And in the hearts of those who live by deception, your quiet gaze is judgment day. But here's the question that lingers, the one that should keep every false soul awake at night. If your silence already terrifies them this much, what will happen when you finally decide to speak? Chosen one, do you realize the weight of the gift you carry? While others are busy memorizing the rules, desperate to fit into the system, you are the one who saw that the system itself was flawed. They studied the manual, rehearsed the strategies, tried to climb ladders someone else built, but you designed the board. You don't just play the game, you see the blueprint behind it. And that terrifies those who depend on illusions to survive. You notice what others overlook, not because you're trying too hard, but because your mind has been wired differently. Where the average eye sees a friendly smile, you catch the hesitation behind it. Where others hear smooth words, you detect the tremor that betrays an agenda. While people clap at the performance on stage, your focus is on the trembling hands behind the curtain. Your perception does not stop at appearances. It cuts deeper, moving past what is said into the intention of the heart. And that is why they fear you, because deception only thrives in blindness. Lies only work when people are too distracted to question them. But you see the cracks in the mask before it even begins to break. You detect the hidden motive before the plan is executed. And in that moment, you become the one thing manipulators cannot control, the observer who cannot be deceived. This is not paranoia, it is discernment. You don't walk into a room searching for betrayal. You walk in, and betrayal reveals itself to you. The tone of a sentence, the pause between words, the way someone avoids eye contact when truth is mentioned, you process it all with a precision that feels supernatural. And let me tell you, it is not imagination. It is a gift, a spiritual radar that scans souls, picking up frequencies that others ignore. The truth is, people can hide their words, but they cannot hide their energy. They can rehearse speeches, but they cannot disguise intention. And you, chosen one, carry the rare ability to feel what others pretend not to feel. That's why people become uneasy around you. That's why conversations change the moment you lean in. They know, even if they can't explain it, that you already understand more than they wanted to reveal. Think about how many times you stayed quiet, just watching, and within minutes the truth spilled out without you forcing it. It happens because deception collapses under the weight of your awareness. It's not that you expose them with dramatic confrontations. It's that their own lies cannot survive your perception. It's like their cover stories burn up in the light of your clarity, leaving them naked in the truth they tried to hide. And here is the part that unsettles them most. You don't just see actions, you see patterns. You connect dots others ignore. They think they are 3 steps ahead, but you already traced their moves 5 turns back. They can't understand how you knew. They wonder who told you, who warned you. But no one did. You simply saw what others missed, because your mind does not operate in the shallow layers of appearance. It lives in depth. You terrify deceivers because they realize too late that the role they were playing has already been unmasked. They may smile, but you see the envy behind the teeth. They may flatter, but you feel the resentment dripping between the words. And while they scramble to hide it, you already know. That's the power of your vision. It doesn't just register what is visible, it interprets what is hidden. Chosen one, understand this. The reason they gossip about you, the reason they warn others in whispers, is because you carry a sight they cannot escape. You are not fooled for a second, and they hate that. Because in a world where manipulation rules, you are the one who stands immune. So the question is, if you already see what they try so desperately to hide, if you already read what they dare not speak, then what will happen when you start acting not just on what they show, but on what you know? There was a time, chosen one, when they believed they had you figured out. They thought they knew which buttons to press, which wounds to poke, which words to twist to make you bend to their will. They laid traps carefully, expecting you to walk right into them. They rehearsed their games of guilt, their tactics of confusion, their strategies of control. And maybe once, it worked. Maybe once you gave too many chances, doubted your own intuition, apologized for things that weren't even your fault. Maybe once, they celebrated thinking they had power over you. But that version of you is gone. That chapter is closed forever. Now, when they try to manipulate you, they're met with a wall they cannot climb. You don't explode, you don't break, you don't play into their script. Instead, you move with surgical precision, with a calm so sharp it slices through their illusions like glass. Every guilt trip they attempt bounces off of you. Every trap they set collapses under its own weight before you even touch it. Their strategies, once effective, now look pathetic when confronted by your clarity. And that is what terrifies them most. Not that you fight back, but that you no longer even need to fight. You've reached a level where emotional chaos no longer feeds you. You don't crave validation from the wrong voices. You don't spend sleepless nights replaying their lies in your mind. You've learned that silence is stronger than arguments, that distance is more powerful than confrontation. So when they come with the same old tricks, provocations, mind games, manipulative charm, you simply don't respond the way you once did. And suddenly, they realize the weapon they thought they had against you has turned to dust. Think about it. Manipulators thrive on reactions. They provoke to get anger. They guilt to get weakness. They confuse to gain control. But when you no longer react, when you remain unshaken, their entire foundation crumbles. They push and nothing moves. They prod and nothing breaks. And in that silence, in that immovable stance, they see the truth they never wanted to face. Your growth has outpaced their games. This transformation did not happen overnight. It was forged in fire. Every betrayal, every heartbreak, every disappointment you endured became training ground. You didn't just survive manipulation. You studied it, decoded it, and rose above it. Now you carry the blueprint of their tactics engraved in your spirit, and that makes you untouchable. They think they're unpredictable, but you've seen the pattern 100 times before. They think they're clever, but you already know the ending before the scene even begins. That is why fear flashes in their eyes when they deal with you now. They know the game is over. And here's the part that unsettles them even more. You don't even need to confront them to win. You don't waste energy exposing them to everyone else. You simply see them for who they are, withdraw your power, and move on. No warnings, no explanations, no second chances. Just doors closing quietly, permanently. That kind of discipline shakes them to their core, because they realize nothing they do can drag you back into the chaos. Your presence has become a mirror they can't bear to face. When they try to manipulate you now, it's not you who gets exposed, it's them. Their own desperation reveals itself, their own emptiness leaks through, and you watch it unfold with the calm of someone who has already won. Chosen one, you must understand what this means. You have reached a stage where you are no longer a player in their small games. You are the end of the game itself. You represent a threat they cannot disarm because you've taken away the only thing they ever had over you, your reaction. So the question they never say out loud, but you can feel in their silence, is this: if they can no longer manipulate you, if their old weapons no longer touch you, then what will you build with all the freedom and power they can no longer take away? Chosen one, have you noticed it? The way the air seems to shift the very second you step into a room. It's not imagination, it's not coincidence. It's atmosphere bending to your presence. Conversations pause, laughter stumbles, fake confidence dissolves. You don't have to speak a single word. You don't have to shout, argue, or fight for recognition. The energy you carry recalibrates the entire environment. It's like your very existence resets the frequency of the room. And whether people admit it or not, they feel it. They may not understand why their stomach tightens, why their voice suddenly cracks, or why they fumble their words when you lock eyes with them. But deep down, they know the truth. Your presence weighs heavier than their performance. Your silence holds more authority than their longest speeches. And no matter how much they try to cover it, their bodies betray them. A hand trembles. A smile falters. A confident mask slips for half a second. That's the evidence of your impact. You see, most people depend on noise to appear powerful. They thrive on attention, applause, and approval to create an illusion of strength. But you don't need the spotlight. You carry the light within. And when you walk in, that inner fire exposes what's real and burns away what's false. That's why pretenders tremble around you, not because of anything you've said, but because of everything you carry. Your aura is not just presence, it is pressure. It forces people to confront themselves, to reckon with their motives, to face the truth they've been avoiding. That's why some people grow uncomfortable around you without reason. That's why certain individuals avoid eye contact or keep their distance. It's not personal, it's spiritual. They can sense that your energy disrupts their illusions, and it terrifies them. And yet, it's not only intimidation that your presence brings. For those who are pure in heart, for those who are genuine, your presence feels like relief, like water in the desert, like light after a long night. People who carry truth within them are drawn to you because your energy affirms them, strengthens them, awakens them. That's the duality of your atmosphere. It exposes the false and empowers the true. And that is why you were never meant to blend in. You were meant to transform. Think back, how many times has someone told you, you don't even have to say much. Just being here changes everything. They may not fully grasp what they're describing, but you do. It's not charisma. It's not charm. It's resonance. Your frequency shakes hidden foundations. Your vibration forces stagnant energy to move. It's the unexplainable weight of destiny radiating from your spirit. And this is why they whisper when you leave. They can't stop talking about you, because your presence doesn't end when you exit the room. It lingers. It echoes. It leaves impressions on people's souls, whether they love you for it or fear you for it. You are not easily forgotten because you were never meant to be background noise. You are the shift that redefines the entire atmosphere. Chosen one, never underestimate this. Your presence alone can silence deception, dismantle arrogance, and unravel manipulation. That is why your enemies grow restless in your company, and why the insecure try so hard to compete with you. They feel it. They know you carry something they cannot imitate. And no matter how hard they try, no performance can outweigh the gravity of your truth. But here lies the question that burns in their silence, the one they cannot answer. If your mere presence already shifts entire atmospheres, what will happen when you decide to unleash the full power of your voice? Chosen one, have you noticed the way people look at you when you speak truth they've never heard, yet somehow always felt? They lean in closer, their eyes widen, and the question inevitably rises in their minds. Who taught you this? Where did you learn it? And the answer, though simple, is unsettling for them. No one. No professor, no textbook, No institution carved this into you. You didn't learn it. You remembered it. It was always there, coded in your spirit, etched into the blueprint of your soul, written into your very DNA. Others spent years gathering secondhand knowledge, stacking degrees, collecting philosophies borrowed from men long gone. But you? Your wisdom doesn't come from repetition. It flows like revelation. It arrives not from outside in, but from inside out. And that makes you dangerous in a world addicted to systems and hierarchies of information. Because if knowledge can be controlled, it can be monetized. If it can be taught, it can be standardized. But when it is carried within you, like an ancient flame, no one can own it, no one can package it, no one can take it away. And that is what makes you unpredictable, uncopyable, impossible to control. They cannot trace the source of what you know. They cannot point to the mentor who shaped you or the school that trained you. You simply are. Your insights arrive like lightning, unannounced, undeniable, striking the ground and leaving others in awe. They can't prepare for it because they don't know where it comes from. And the truth is, neither do you. You just know it is there. You just know that when the moment calls for clarity, words pour out of you with weight that shakes the room. And it's not just intellectual knowledge, it's soul knowledge. It's the kind of knowing that comes from spirit, from eternity, from somewhere beyond what the eye can see. You read energy as if it were language. You hear the unspoken message in silence. You sense the future in a single present moment. That kind of perception cannot be explained on a resume. It cannot be replicated by anyone trying to mimic your style. And that's why it intimidates those who live trapped in imitation. This knowledge you carry has always set you apart. Even as a child, you saw things differently. While others memorized answers, you asked questions that shook the foundation of the lesson. While others followed blindly, you noticed the cracks in authority. And though they tried to label you as strange, rebellious, or naive, time revealed the truth. You weren't behind, you were ahead. What they learned in fragments, you perceived as a whole. That's why conversations feel different when you're present. People find themselves saying things they never planned to share, confessing truths they never admitted before. It's as if your presence pulls hidden knowledge out of them, because deep calls unto deep, and your spirit awakens what is sleeping in others. This is not manipulation, it's resonance. You carry the kind of frequency that unlocks doors others never realized were closed. And yet this gift is not without cost. Carrying knowledge that can't be taught means carrying burdens others cannot understand. It means walking paths alone, enduring misunderstandings, being labeled intimidating or too much. But even in that, you remain unshaken, because deep inside you know, this is not accident, it is assignment. Chosen one. Understand this clearly. You are the reminder that some truths cannot be manufactured. Some wisdom cannot be staged. Some intelligence cannot be faked. What flows through you comes from a well no one else can touch, and it pours out in ways no one else can predict. That is why they whisper about you. That is why they watch you with both awe and fear. They know you carry something they cannot learn, and that makes you untouchable. But here lies the question that lingers in every room you enter, though no one dares ask it out loud. If what you already know without being taught is this powerful, then what deeper truths are still waiting to awaken inside you? Chosen one, this is the moment. You are no longer simply intelligent. You are lethal. Your mind has risen beyond brilliance into a fortress, untouchable, unshakable, unbreakable. That is why whispers follow you wherever you go. That is why masks collapse when you arrive. That is why those who once underestimated you now tremble in your silence. Do not shrink back. Do not second-guess what has been placed inside you. This intelligence is not random. It is divine strategy. It is purpose. It is destiny. You were never designed to blend into the crowd. You were never meant to be ordinary. You were sent here to see what others ignore, to expose what others protect, to break what others worship. You are living proof that true power doesn't scream, it radiates. True authority doesn't beg, it stands. True wisdom doesn't imitate, it originates. Chosen one, hear me. Your very existence is a disruption to the systems of deception. Your clarity dismantles confusion. Your vision exposes lies. Your presence shifts atmospheres. And your silence, echoes louder than their loudest noise. This is the weight of what you carry. This is the crown you cannot lay down. So walk boldly. Walk with silence, but walk in light. Carry your power, but anchor it in love. Because what you hold within you is not an accident. It is not coincidence. It is not chance. It is destiny. You were chosen to embody the kind of intelligence that no one can buy, no one can teach, and no one can control. And from this day forward, every step you take is a declaration. I cannot be broken. I cannot be deceived. I cannot be stopped. Now, if this word has awakened something inside you, seal it right now. Write it in the comments as a living decree. My mind is my weapon. Let it echo not just here, but in your life, in your choices, in your destiny. Because you are not just thinking with intelligence, you are moving with divine revelation. Chosen one, rise, step forward, shine. The world has already felt the tremor of your presence, but they have yet to see the full fire of your becoming. And when